What is going on, Mafia? It's Trace Moustakas, but you can call me Moose, filling in for Mr. Tyler Smith today. He has a little off day. Can you believe it? We are just 2 days away from the NFL Draft 2025 edition, and I'm going to ask you a big favor. About a month ago, we put up this AFC East sub-battle, and I have to tell you, you've been doing a great job. Second place is not terrible, but it's not first place. So do me a favor, last-minute push before the draft begins. Lock us in. Hit that subscribe button if you love the Buffalo Bills and you want to beat every other team here in the AFC East at Chat Sports in subscribers. With that being said, let's dive right on into the video. So we've got ourselves a little James Cook contract update. Now, I was doing a little bit of research, trying to figure out all the things that I was going to gather and talk about today. And then, boom, push noti from Diana Rossini, who said that, it was retweeted by Diana Rossini. It wasn't exactly from her. It was actually from Joe Buscaglia, who is a Bills, kind of a beat reporter. And he said, Bills GM Brandon Beane says that James Cook is not at the team facilities for the start of the offseason program. He said, and I quote, this is Beane talking, can't tell you where he's definitely or if he's coming definitely or not, but he did add it, it's voluntary. So before I get into kind of the reaction about this, let's talk about the last couple of years for James Cook, and more specifically 2024 as a whole. Coming off his best season as a Buffalo Bill, 16 rushing touchdowns, 18 total touchdowns, and it's clear that last season was his breakout season. So to me, this is not a big deal, right? They're voluntary for a reason. We see this all the time in the NFL. Players don't go for one reason or another. They might be on vacation with their family. It might be a contract holdout. It might be that they're sick that day, or they just don't really feel like going. For whatever your reason is, I'm not going to make a huge deal out of this. It's not that pressing. However, I will say this. He did make it known, James Cook did at least, that he wants $15 million a year. Now, we've talked about this on the channel before. I don't think he's worth that. But you could make the argument that with the resurgence of the running back position, especially after what Saquon Barkley did last year, that you might see running backs maybe having a bigger role in the offense rather than just being there to, kind of support the quarterback. And I don't think the most concerning thing is him not showing up. I think the most concerning thing is what Brandon Beane said afterwards, which is there's really no timetable for James Cook's return. So does that mean that he's going to skip OTAs? Does that mean that he's going to be there for the beginning of training camp? Does that mean he's going to be there for preseason week 1 or the start of the NFL season? We have no idea. We saw last season that Brandon Ayuk was holding out for his contract, didn't show up until the beginning of the season, and boom, he got injured like 3 or 4 games into the year. So this causes me a little bit of concern, but I'm going to throw it up to you. Will James Cook show up to OTAs? Yes or no? I think he will. I think this is kind of his statement piece where he's like, hey, listen, time's a-ticking. I want my new deal. Let's see if we can get the ball rolling. I don't think anybody in the Bills front office is going to bite on this, truthfully. It just doesn't seem like something that they want to get done. Plus, he is under contract for the next year. So we're not looking at a free agency until at least 2026. So I think they're going to see how the 2025 season plays out when it comes to James Cook. Now, in the event that James Cook and the Buffalo Bills can't get a deal done, I truly believe that this is the year to go out and get a running back. It is the deepest class that you could finally get, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Adam Schefter actually kind of dropped a little news nugget that there might be some NFL running backs that are on the trading block during the 2025 NFL season. We'll start with the first guy, Travis Etienne from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, coming off a kind of a low season. In fact, it was one of his worst. This is not good, especially for his caliber. Only 150 carries. He played in 15 games, by the way. 2 touchdowns and a PFF grade of 60.7, which I have gone on record saying, look, That's not the holy grail. It's not the Bible for how you grade a player. And one of his strengths as a running back is his ability to complement in the passing game. And even that wasn't that great. If you look at his passing stats last year, this wasn't good either. I mean, he played in 329 snaps, only got 50 targets, 19 receptions for 254 yards. Now, I'm not saying he needs to be over 500 yards or 600 yards, but this is not good. So to me, this feels like a lateral move. And not because of what Eteienne put on the field last year, which was bad, because in years prior, Eteienne has actually been more than serviceable. He's been a good NFL back. But for what James Cook gave you last year, what Eteienne put out last year, and kind of their ascending and descending trajectories, to me, they butt heads. I think as a talent, Eteienne is comparable to James Cook. But like I said, based off of the last couple of seasons, or last year in particular, this doesn't feel like a smart move at all for the Buffalo Bills. Now, the second guy that was noted by Schefter as someone that could be traded during the NFL draft was Rachaad White from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, interestingly enough, if you would have asked me last year about Rachaad White, I might have told you, okay, I could probably be talked into this. I don't know if I would take it right off the jump, but his last couple of seasons have been pretty good. 2023, right around 1,000 yards last year. Took a big dip because he split with Bucky Irving, that dynamic rookie. And I think he's losing his starting job. Bucky Irving is clearly the future for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as running back. So I look at Rachaad White as another move where it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? Like, if you had a running back like James Cook who found the end zone 18 total times, and you're talking about another guy like Rachaad who just didn't make anything happen and is potentially losing his job for Bucky Irving, it's clear the writing's on the wall. Cook is better than Rachaad White. Like, that's not even debatable. So when Schefter put these two trade candidates out there, I don't necessarily think the Bills have any interest in trading for either of these players. Maybe if you wanted to back up James Cook, they could trade for someone like that if they didn't like a draft target. But as I said before, they should draft a running back in the 2025 NFL draft class. This is the deepest running back draft class I have ever seen. Point blank. I mean, when it comes to NFL starters throughout this entire draft class, there's like 8 of them. And a couple of them will be franchise backs. So you're not going to get a guy like Ashton Genty. You're not going to get Amari and Hampton. But what about these guys right here? These are 5 running backs the Bills could target on day 2 or day 3 that could make excellent additions behind James Cook day 1. Quinshon Judkins from Ohio State. Kaleb Johnson from Iowa. You might have to move up in the early second round to get him. R.J. Harvey is a sleeper pick. Dylan Sampson carried his team last year. And Devin Neal is one of the most slept-on running backs in this entire draft class, simply because I believe he played at Kansas. So any one of these 5 guys could make excellent RB2s for James Cook, who I said earlier is still going to be your starting back come week 1, or at least we hope so. So if the Bills do draft a running back, he'll fit nicely into that RB2 role. Someone that could learn behind James Cook, someone that could develop under the offense, and if a, God forbid, contract extension does not come between the Bills and Cook, boom, you let Cook explore the market, you've got his replacement right there. That's kind of what running backs, in my opinion, are the easiest to supplant. You can draft a young guy, let him develop for the first year, and then boom, let him explode. They're usually the most NFL-ready position in the entirety of football. But let me ask you this. Name your favorite running back prospect. Mine, personally, I hate saying the chalk take of Ashton Genty because he is the most generational. So I'll give you one that not everybody's talking about. I've talked to him about on the channel before. R.J. Harvey out of UCF, I think, is the most slept-on back in this entire draft. Dude's insane. Like, he really is that guy. He did play at UCF, didn't have a ton of talent around him and didn't play against the best talent, but he found the end zone over 20 times last year. He had like 3 or 4 backs last year that were just putting up insane godlike numbers. So I think any one of those guys, especially Harvey, will make an excellent addition to this team. That's going to do it for us on today's episode. Remember to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and help us win that AFC East sub battle. My name is Moose. Until next time, be cool.